Hello, designers. I'm Dr. Shantae Bishop, CEO of Design Her Label, where I help diverse women entrepreneurs turn their creative genius into bankable branding strategies. In today's Brandcast, we're going to be talking about it's time to keep it 100. In other words, it's time to be for real with regard to our branding and our businesses. One of the things that I've noticed is that with some of my clients, the reason why they're struggling is because they're trying to pretend to be something that they aren't. They're trying to present their brand in a way that they think it should be, or the way that they think it should go, or what someone told them it should look like. Well, what you need to do is, instead of being truly authentic. And so in this blog post, in this Brandcast, we're going to be talking all about how you can keep it 100% authentic with your clients, with your customers, and actually in doing so, increase your sales. So your brand is not your brand if your brand looks like your competition. And so if your competition has a landing page and it has these 3 components, then you feel like, okay, well, mine should have that too, because I have to keep up with the competition. I have to make sure that I'm meeting the standard. But in fact, if that's not who you are, if that's not what you want your brand to reflect, if that's not what you want your brand to look like, then it doesn't have to look like your competition. Too often we find ourselves trying to beat the competition instead of trying to be the competition. And so if your brand looks cookie cutter, then you're really not standing out at all. In fact, you are intentionally making yourself blend in, and that means that you are going to be, and your brand is going to be forgettable. Your brand is not your brand if it uses words that you would never say. Because the thing is that when you speak to people, when people read your emails, when people read your sales copy, it has to be authentic. It has to come from you. So if you have a sense of humor, then your sense of humor should be reflected in everything that you write. If you are quirky, then the quirkiness should come out in your brand. But if you're trying to be stiff and corporate and professional because you think that's going to make people buy in, then you're wrong. Google is a multi-billion with a capital B billion-dollar company. And most of the people that work at their California office, they wear blue jeans and cut off shorts every day because that's who they are. And so your brand has to reflect you. And if you are using words and sales copy that you would never say, then you are going to repel your customers instead of attracting your customers. Your brand isn't your brand if your personality isn't reflected and if people don't know your story. Now, when I say your story, I don't mean your life story, because this is something that I really see people struggling with when they write their bio. When I see people write their bio, they write about where they went to school and what awards they got and all of these, distinctions and recognitions that, to be honest with you, nobody really cares about. When people are talking about your story, they're talking about who you are, why you're passionate about what it is that you're doing, how it is that you help other people, and what it is that you want people to know. What are the lasting impressions that you want people to have about you? And so when your story is nowhere attached to your brand and you're just pushing products, then you're actually going to stagnate your sales instead of increasing them. So please understand that people are not buying your product, your service, your gadget, your gizmo. People are buying your story. People are buying you, because the fact of the matter is that more times than not, there are 5, 10 other places that they can go to get what you're offering. But the question is, why would they get it from you? And the reason why they would get it from you is because it is you. It's your personality that they like. It's your story that they like. I can't tell you how many clients I've had come to me who actually tried other coaches, and the other coaches, they either were not accessible, or they felt like they didn't get enough time with them, or they felt like everything was really, really sterile and generic and corporate and cold, and they needed somebody that had a little bit more warmth. They needed somebody who was going to be a little bit more hands-on and give them some direct coaching and some direct feedback. And so even though, my competition was offering the same services, their experience with the competition wasn't a pleasant one. And when they came to me, they said, man, I just love you and everything that you're about, because that's part of the story that I've built around Design Her Label. I will say many times, Design Her Label is not about me. Design Her Label is about you. It's about you who are listening, who are taking the time to listen to these brandcasts and share them with your friends and other people who are trying to aspire things in their lives. That's why I do this. That's why I take the time out of my week to make sure that I give you something of value. That's the story of my brand. And not everybody's going to do that. So, what people are investing in is how your brand makes them feel. So, think about what it is that you're offering. Think about what it is that you're selling. I don't care if it's cakes, if it's cookies, if it's coaching, if it's classes. That's a lot of C's. But yes, I don't care if it's any of those things. Think about how your brand makes them feel. Think about how you feel when you go into certain stores and why you keep coming back. Think about how you feel when you go into certain restaurants and why you keep coming back. So your brand should make your clients feel some kind of way. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that your brand, your books, your coaching, your classes, who you are should make your clients feel better about themselves. It should trigger an emotional response so that they want to come back and get more of what you have to offer. So for example, Apple is excellent at this. Think about it. Whenever there's a new iPhone, people stalk the store. They harass the geniuses at the Genius Bar. When is it coming out? And what colors is it going to be? Do you know what it looks like? Has anything been leaked? People are so amped and so excited about it. And they will stand out in the freezing cold in very long lines waiting for a new phone to come out. And the thing is that they're not standing in line because of a phone. They are standing in line, many of them, for a chance to hop on social media and brag and say, look what I got, or I just posted this using my brand new iPhone. And I remember this because I've seen it. When the iPhone 5S's came out, oh my goodness, all you saw were all of these posts on Instagram and Facebook and social media of the box that it came out of. It was an experience for them. And so it wasn't just about the phone, the commodity, the product. It was about the experience. And so think about it. How are people experiencing your brand? How do people feel when they go to your website? How do people feel from the time they walk in your door until, the last transaction? Do you say thank you when people buy things from you? And do you say it verbally? Do you send them a follow-up email? How are people experiencing your brand? Another example, Tiffany's. So Tiffany and Company, for a long time, there was this craze, their sterling silver line with the Tiffany tags. Almost everybody had that bracelet or that choker or, something to that effect. And actually there were a lot of knockoffs. So it even was so popular that people started to, make fakes of that silver chain link line. But the fact of the matter is that with Tiffany's, it's really not about what's inside the box. It's not about the gift or the vase or the bracelet or the ring. It's about the box. There was a woman on Facebook where she was going on and on about how she had gotten engaged, and instead of showing people a picture of the ring, she just posted a picture of the box, because when people see a Tiffany's box, it doesn't even matter what the ring looks like. They know that is a significant, special signature piece of something on the inside. So it's how Tiffany's makes them feel. So think about that. When people experience your brand, when people interact with you, when people look at your post on social media, how does it make them feel? What resonates with them? Are you there? Is it a special experience? Is it something that people can't wait to be a part of? Or is it cookie cutter and corporate and generic and looks just like everybody else, who has a program or a product out on the market? So here's the big takeaway from this Brandcast. Your story, your ability to connect with your audience emotionally is where your money is. Because the fact of the matter is, think about a car salesman. A car salesman that doesn't push the client into a car that they don't want. A car salesman that will listen to the client and will also share, his own struggles or share stories about his kids that is really personable. Those are the ones that make the most money. And so when you start thinking about your clients, when you start thinking about your product, ask yourself, what is the story? What is it that I'm telling them that I want them to believe in? Do I want them to believe in a greater cause? Do I want them to believe in a certain set of values? Do I want to let them know that I think they're beautiful and that they should think that they're beautiful? What is it that you want your audience to wrap their arms around? Because I don't care how good your product is, how slick the packaging is, or any of those things. If it doesn't make your client feel a certain way, if it doesn't trigger or resonate with them emotionally, you are going to struggle in your sales. And so when you think about the hotels that you like to visit, or the places that you like to go on vacation, or the restaurants that you like to visit, or just even your little treat to yourself where you're like, you know what? I've been working hard. I'm going to treat myself. And then you go to that place. You go to that place because it makes you feel some kind of way. There are some people who, when they treat themselves, they're like, I'm going to get my nails done, or I'm going to go to the spa and I'm going to get a back rub. They don't go just anywhere. Usually they go to a certain place because that certain place makes them feel better about themselves. And so think about it with your brand, with whatever you're selling or whatever your organization represents. How are you connecting with your audience emotionally? How is it making them feel? So your story includes why you started your business or organization. It can include who you started it for. It could include why you care. So why is it that you created this business, this product? Why is it that you're trying to solve this problem? Why is it that you created this service? And then it also is about why your customer should care, why your client should care. What are the things that they care about, and how does your business support the things that they care about? This is all a part of the brand story. So it's not about, well, I've got a product and I know it's a really good product. People aren't buying your product. People are buying your story. So remember, your audience is not looking for products. Your audience is looking for people, because that is where the connection happens. That is where the following takes place. Like this weekend, I have a speaking engagement coming up, and I've gotten emails and inbox messages from people I don't even know, people I've never met, that says, I can't wait to see you at this event. I love your YouTube channel. I can't wait to see you in person. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And the reason why it's awesome is because that means that people are connecting with me. I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm not trying to lead them to the shopping cart. But the fact of the matter is that there's something that I'm communicating with my brand. There's something about my story, about being able to design and create a future for yourself, and not just for yourself, but for generations to look at you and say, look at my mom, look at my sister, look at my aunt, look at who she is. She's a CEO. She is working hard. And when I grow up, I want to do some of the things that she has done. That's what people are investing in when they're investing in Design Her Label. It's not just about classes and coaching. It's about investing in a process where you are becoming a role model for someone that's standing behind you to look at and say, I want to be her, or I want to learn from her, or I want to grow with her, or she can teach me some things. It's about being an alternative to the things that we see out in the media and on the television or in the news, and saying, no, we're not like that. Actually, we're powerful, passionate, intelligent, creative, strategic women who are building a future for ourselves. That's what Design Her Label is about. And that's why people are invested in the brand, and not invested from a monetary standpoint, but are emotionally invested in it. So think about it. With your product or service, what is it that people are going to feel when they see you? Because it's not about the product, it's about the people. So as always, if you enjoyed this post, please do encourage your people to subscribe to Design Her Label. And I would love to connect with you on Facebook or any of those social media channels. I love interacting with you all, and I do follow quite a few of you, when you guys follow me. So thank you for your support, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.